Going on YouTube, Fish Fam? It is Saturday, May 11th. Big happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. To all the fathers, happy Mother's Day to them as well. Hope you guys are enjoying your families, your children, your moms. I just hope everybody has a great Mother's Day. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. Some places it's already Mother's Day. But I just want to give you guys a quick update on the IM 25-gallon tank. I've been fighting dinos for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. When I initially found the issue, my phosphates were at 0, nitrates were at 4. Keep in mind I did use dry sand, dry rock. I used starter bacteria of, what was it, Microbacter 7, Birospira, and some Night Out Microbe Lift 2. A little mixture of all three. Everything seemed to be doing fine. And then the Dino showed their head one day. It kind of showed up as like a bacterial bloom. Then I started noticing the dinos on the sand, on the rocks. Had a buddy come over, check it out. He pretty much told me he thought it was dinos. Let me borrow his UV sterilizer to put on the tank, and gave me some pointers on what I should probably start doing to battle them. He also recommended a thread on Reef to Reef, which I've been reading through for about a week and a half now. It's a pretty large thread. Just lots of members' experiences and ways that they went about combating the dinos. So I kind of took a little bits of information from everybody and kind of put together my own little magic sauce, or whatever you want to call it, to try to combat these dinos. So the first thing I did was stopped adding new stuff to the tank. Stopped adding corals. The next thing I did was turn the skimmer off. Over the course of 2 days of the skimmer being off, I was able to raise my phosphates from 0.00 to 0.03, 0.04 over 48 hours time. In addition to turning the skimmer off, I stopped changing the socks. I installed a 15-watt UV sterilizer that was lent to me from my buddy. I will be purchasing a UV sterilizer, as I need to give this one back to my friend. But my questions are to you is, should I run an 8-watt or a 15-watt? The system total volume with water after rock displacement and sand displacement is 30 gallons. I believe I can get away with an 8-watt, but is there any negative side effects to running a larger sterilizer, let's say a 15-watt instead of an 8-watt? This is the first UV sterilizer I've ever ran on a system in 17 years of reef keeping. I just never really bought into the hype, but I've also never dealt with dinos or parasites with fish or anything like that, so never really had a need to run a UV. I've been successful without one, but after running this UV for over a week and a half now, I can see some of the benefits of having a UV on a system, and I'm thinking about buying one. So if anybody has any information about the size UV for this size tank, 30 actual gallons of water after rock and sand displacement, let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate it. I'm not a UV guru, and any comments or information you guys can leave would be greatly appreciated. So moving right along, I stopped cleaning the glass for over a week and a half. The thought behind this was to let the glass dirty up, let the system dirty up, not allow a new surface for the dinos to reproduce. any new dinos that would produce, hopefully with the glass being covered in the biofilm, would be entered into the water column, which would then pass through the UV. During the daytime, it seems like the sand would get the film, the Dino film all over it, as well as the rock. As the lights ramp down at night, they would kick off the sand would clear up, the rocks would clear up, they would go into the water column, trying to repopulate, thus going through the UV sterilizer. And on it went. So after initial setup on the UV, it took about 4 days before I started noticing the water start to clear up. It's been about a week and a half, I'm not sure, since I've noticed the issue. And yesterday I cleaned the glass for the first time and noticed the tank was crystal clear, the rocks were clearing up. Every day during the day, about midday, peak intensity of the light, I do notice some small patches of dinos here and there on the rocks. I try to turkey base them off, give them a light scrubbing with a toothbrush, get them into the water column, that way they can pass through the UV and the filter socks. About an hour after I scraped the glass yesterday, I changed the socks for the first time in a week and a half. My nitrate levels were increasing rapidly. I went from 4 to almost 40 in about a week and a half. So I did notice the gold with the purple tip hammer start to recede a little bit. That could be because of the nitrate issues. I haven't done a water change on the system. My alkalinity has been about 8.2 to 8.4. Calcium has been at about 422. Magnesium has been about 1360. The phosphate levels have risen to 1.2 over a week and a half. I've been using some Chem Flourish in addition to the skimmer being off to help raise those levels. Just a quick thought on the Flourish is I started out with half the recommended dose, and it has been raising my levels quite quickly. So I would be very careful if you're going to use this product. It is a lot stronger than the Brightwell's Neophos. I was not able to find the Neophos. I found the Flourish. There is also Dino X, but the Dino X cost about $45 for a 250 ml bottle. That cost me $6. So it does work, but I've heard horror stories of people just nuking their tank by adding way too much or the recommended dose. I started with half the recommended dose, and I tested within 24 hours after the first dose using the Hanner checker, the ULR checker, and it is working fine. I have not dosed any more than the first initial dose because I turned the skimmer off, and that seems to have helped raise the phosphate levels, as well as me just maintaining my feeding schedule of sparing the pellets every other day, 1 cube of frozen every other day, mixed with I don't know, an eighth of a teaspoon, if that. I'm just not even that, just a real small amount of Refroids mixed in with the frozen, with some tank water, and 1 drop of garlic powder, which we're not going to talk about. There's lots of issues about garlic powder and people's thoughts on it. But I've just maintained my feeding schedule, let the glass dirty up, stopped changing socks, turned off the skimmer, raised those phosphate levels up from 0.00 to now 1.2. The nitrate levels have risen from 4 to 40. So today I will be doing I'm debating a 5-gallon or 10-gallon water change. I really don't want to have my phosphates above 20. And I don't want to have my phosphate levels above 1.2 to 1.4. Ideally, I like to keep them between 0.03 and 0.08. The reason I've raised them so high is just to help combat the dinos, give the beneficial bacteria something to feed on to outcompete the negative bacteria. So today I will be doing a 5 to 10 gallon water change. I don't want to change too much water, strip the water too clean again, and have the dinos reappear. I did want to turn the skimmer back on because the nitrates were rising so fast. I will be checking all the parameters today prior to the water change, and then tomorrow morning after the water change to see where my levels are at. I don't want my phosphates hitting zero. In the event that my levels start to drop back down, I will turn off the skimmer again temporarily, but my thoughts are I actually want to run the skimmer 24/7, and if the phosphate levels start to drop close to zero again, I will be using the Flourish phosphorus to dose those levels back up and hopefully leave the skimmer on. So just an update. I know this video is kind of long, but I wanted to share with you what I have been doing to help battle the dinos. And the lights just came on about 25 minutes ago. The sand is cleared up, the rocks have cleared up. Like I said, midday peak intensity, I do notice a patch here or there of the dinos on the rocks. And I try to use the turkey baster to blow the rocks off and get them into the water column. That way the UV sterilizer can do its magic. All the corals seem to be doing well. I have not lost any corals. The zoas are open. Acans are doing well. The fish are doing great. I believe they are in the process of wanting to lay some eggs. I noticed both of them taking scoops of sand and creating this little bed down here. I also feel like maybe the male might be trying to become a dominant female because he seems to be growing rapidly, approaching the same size as the female. So maybe they might swap genders and mate. They've been doing their little mating ritual, hanging out in their little bed back here. You can see the shrimp is right there. But they're doing fine. It's morning time. They're a little camera shy. They like hiding in the back. But during the day they come out and swim around. Everything's still opening up. This plate here usually extends from here to here by, an hour or so after the lights have been on. The grape coral seems to be doing fine. The bird's nest is fine. The only thing that's not really looking as good as it was is the gold hammer back there, the gold with purple tip hammer, and I believe that is due to the increase in nitrates and phosphate levels, hence the reason why I will be doing a water change. Also, I want to just take the Nero 5 out and scrub it off, clean it up. I don't want the system too clean, but I don't want my pumps looking like, a piece of trash in the tank. If I start to see the dinos start to rear their heads again, I will be dosing the phosphate. Maybe not change the sock so often, but I do want to keep the skimmer on just because the air exchange that it produces, I feel like that has some benefits, as well as keep the nitrates somewhat in check. At the end of this video, I'm going to attach, I seen Calypso put out, him at work. I took a couple videos at work. A couple of the videos actually did not record, but I will be attaching a quick little 2-minute video of just me at work. I didn't really capture all the footage I wanted. I got my boss to deal with. He sees me filming. What the hell are you doing? Get your ass back to work type deal. But just wanted to share It's a pretty cool little project I'm working on, a little lagoon right next to where we're working. I didn't get super awesome footage, but I did get some footage. It's only a couple minutes. It didn't really show me working or what we actually do, but just shows you, gives you an idea of what I do for work. I thought it was pretty cool to see what other people do for their jobs, and you know, how they give back to the community, and you know, what they do for a living. You know, why haven't you heard from me? Why haven't I been putting videos? Because I'm at work. You know what I mean? All of us gotta work, man, pay the bills. So just gonna put that on the end of this video here. I'll go ahead and stop it right here. Once again, to all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy your kids, enjoy your family, enjoy your moms. Just want to give you guys an update. I know it's a little bit long. I try to make it short and sweet, but I end up rambling here. I apologize. Another thing too is I did get a little $10-12 tripod, you know, like a little desktop mini tripod, and it's pretty badass for 10-12 bucks. I mean, I was looking at some of the more pricier ones, and I mean, I think the one I got was even better than those. So final thing will be it's going to be doing a full run of test on the tank today, as well as a 5 to 10 gallon water change. I'll post up my results, let's say next week, on how the tank's doing, let you know what my parameters are, and what I plan to do moving forward with this tank. So thanks for watching, guys. If you guys have any information on the UV that you can comment down below. Is running a larger watt UV going to be beneficial to my tank, or is it going to be have negative effects on the tank? Will it kill my pods? I did notice a pod explosion in the tank, which is good. But if you got some information on the UV, please comment down below. Like I said, I'm not a YouTube. What's up, man? Just a quick shot of the lagoon right next to the bridge we're working on. Just got finished unloading a truck. It's the lagoon right here. We kind of dredged it out, drained it out, blocked it off so we can build this bridge right here. Then they're going to open it back up. It's the homie Valentine. What's up, Valentine? He's got all the rigging. I'm the signal man today. But as soon as this rigging gets pulled up here, we're going to get back to work building this bridge. See if I can zoom in. It goes all the way across. It's about 1,000 feet, if not more. We also got work going on the other side. Got the operator right here. Very busy. Look at the freeway. Loaded. Everybody hates us. We're out here fucking up their commute. It's cloudy. It's been raining all morning, off and on. Got a little bit of sun right now. Just wanted to share with you guys. See, there's some fish trapped in the lagoon over here. They keep spooling or boiling and jumping out the water. It's pretty cool. There's a little barge. Pull all that pipe out that they use to drain the lagoon down. Yeah, we're about right here where I'm at. I'm about 18 feet up, but in the middle I think it's about 35 feet tall, 40 feet tall. It's not that high. Having fun. Alright guys, have a good day. Unloading fucking steel. Too fucking